'Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. I can learn to love myself just because.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. It's another glorious wintry Monday here in Washington, D.C. because weather is crazy. But I feel like that's even more reason to stay home and, listen to, tune in for this wonderful podcast because today's guest, Dinah, I'm excited. I'm a little bit sad because you're not here to
Me too.
experience this excitement with me, but I'm excited. Before we even talk about today's guest,
I'm
however,
excited too.
fantastic. Where are you?
Yeah. I'm in San Francisco.
Why are you in San Francisco?
Well, I'm visiting a really good friend. She had brain surgery a couple of weeks ago, and she's
Okay.
recovering like really, really well. But I'm here to support her and yeah, just let her know that she is loved. And yeah, she's been recovering really well. So yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
I
San
did not
Francisco is
realize
such
that
a
at all.
great town.
I've never been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Oh, you
never
would
been.
love
That's
it. It's so
wild.
great. There's, yeah, yeah. There's such a great music scene out here. Art, food is fantastic. Yeah, it's wonderful.
That's cool.
It's
I
just
will.
like I was walking around too, thinking like this area or this, like I don't know, very grateful to be here. So,
That's awesome. I will be stopping through San Fran on my way to New Zealand in 2 weeks. I was gonna say next month. No, it's
oh
in 2
man,
weeks, to go to my for my
nice.
book tour. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing a little bit, but I can't spend too much time in San Fran because my husband and I are going in September specifically so that we can run across the Golden Gate Bridge, which
Yes.
I think is a 3-mile run. Ridiculous. But
Mm,
well, I'm glad that you're there with your friend. I'm glad that you're,
yeah.
obviously brain surgery is something that's something I
Yeah.
can relate to. So,
You know.
um,
Yeah.
if only I had a friend like you when I
Yeah.
was going through it. That's well,
Yeah.
thank you for being here and thank you for everybody who's tuning in. Today's guest, I cannot wait. I'm not going to lie, Dinah, I haven't really told you much about how I know Liz, but I met her at a 202 Creates event years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
I tried my best to bully her with friendship so that I could try and make her my friend, basically, because this woman, she just exudes love and positivity and resilience
Mm-hmm.
and peace and
Yeah.
calm, which I think,
Yeah.
obviously you and I both know the world needs so much of at the moment. But there's so many levels to this woman.
So
So,
much.
so without further ado,
Let's meet her.
yes, Liz Strom, all the way from Virginia.
Merry Christmas.
It feels like Christmas. It is snowing like heck outside. It's crazy.
Here we
How
are
are
March
you?
2nd, and I'm in the DC area again, and it is snowing, and I just can't help but to wish I had a hot cocoa in hand and put a ton of marshmallows in and go about the way today because it just does not look like March. But here we are.
At all, which is I'm kind of excited about going back to New Zealand because yeah, the cold is not my friend. So but for those I mean obviously you and I go back a long way. You do a plethora of things. You're a lifestyle blogger, you are somebody a wellness enthusiast, you're somebody who really does a lot of speaking on spiritual balance and just holistic well-being. You have a crazy
Oh my gosh.
So I heard crazy.
Yeah,
She's right.
I heard crazy too, but then maybe, well,
Yeah.
Liz,
Well, I can
the
take that and run with it
yeah.
until we get her back.
Yeah, I think
um,
she dropped off, but I think like the listeners for everyone's joining us, I'm just like very curious because this is the first time that we're meeting.
yeah.
Um, Before you delve into, more about what you do and everything, I'm kind of trying to figure out like what's one simple thing that has brought you joy lately. We'll just start with that.
Ooh, one simple thing. There's so many things. I love food. My body has an aversion to a whole bunch of foods right now, but I love food. So right before coming down here, I was looking at what I could snack on and have for dinner, and I have these Vietnamese snacks that I'm looking forward to upstairs. So that's bringing me joy right now because that's what's in my head, my heart right now. And when I was backstage, I actually overheard that you're in San Francisco. Can you hear me?
Or- There she is.
Alma, there she is.
Ah, I'm sorry, friends. Technology be technologying.
It do be technology.
It do be technology. What I was trying to say was, your social media presence is crazy and wonderful and inspiring. And I, for one, am somebody that gets FOMO hard when I see all the wonderful endeavors that you get up to. But I wanted to sort of open it up a little bit and say, hello, welcome to the Real Talk space. Now that we have internet connections, I'm going to blame the storm. I'm going to blame the winter. That's what it is. But for those who don't know you, who is Liz Strom? Who is Espressofied?
Oh, it's really hard to just put me in one simple category because I love so many different things, doing a lot of different things. But I think a lot of it was inspired by not only the type of person I am and my character, but a lot of had to do with aversion and being sick almost all my life and getting to do things that bring me joy and knowing that other people bring me joy. And so I started coaching and speaking and doing workshops like the Goddess Workshop and trying to put as much joy as I can about things that I love on social media. So Espressofied was built kind of as an altar of all of these things that bring me joy. I'm not somebody who picks at things. I'm not somebody who's going to talk badly about a product or a vacation or food because what I may not love, somebody else may love. So I'm not here to bash anyone's liking. But anything I love, I put on this altar and then I like to showcase it.
Hmm.
I'm just starting to showcase a little bit more of what it's like to be me on a normal basis because a lot of people don't know what I go through in between. So when you talk about having serious FOMO about watching all the things that I do, sometimes I think it's really worth it to show the times where I can't do anything at all, that I can't leave my house because I'm not well. And so others see that, but there are also a lot of people out there that are going through the same thing or a lot
Hmm.
worse and would like to identify with me as that person who not only gets to go on these amazing elevated vacations and eat really delicious things and share all of that, the stylish things that I get myself into and the people I get to meet in the events around DC and New York, but also that I was a type 1 diabetic that has been temporarily taken care of, hopefully permanently taken care of by double organ transplant. So I have a new kidney and pancreas. I also have Crohn's disease, gastroparesis. So I've been just steady losing all of this weight because of not being well, and people don't get to see that. So through my social media channels, through coaching, through speaking, through workshops, really what it is. I don't like to just talk to or at people. I like when people interact with each
Hmm.
other. I like to share a little bit of that and then open them up to being able to share if they want to, and also process some of what they go through in their way. I'm not a therapist, but I'm somebody who likes to do things that are very therapeutic, whether
Yeah.
it's to things like music with what you create, or sound bowl healing by asking a friend to come and play her crystal bowls so people can get the higher frequencies and heal that way. Going out to get coffee is how Espressofied was born. So if you go out and have coffee or tea with your friends and sit down for 5 minutes or 2 hours, that can be really healing. So that's what I
Yeah.
was hoping Espressofied could be. And that's what social media was built off of. But anything to make you feel joy, whether it's these temporary moments, anything you could fit into your life, or this longer, elongated knowing of what brings you joy so you can keep bringing that into your life. And
Yeah.
that's me in a nutshell, somebody who's gone through a lot and I try to bring joy in using different modalities.
I think that's one of the reasons why I resonated towards you so much because obviously when I met you, it was in the realm of learning about social media and how to really, step forward with your best foot. But, as somebody who has experienced severe medical trauma, as somebody who has navigated just, you know, life experiences that aren't always the most savory, shall we say, um, you know, it's really refreshing seeing other women who choose joy as their form of resilience. You know what I mean? Because I think it's really easy for us to either wallow in the misery or sort of use I survived as my battle cry. Whereas you're somebody who leads with poise, you're somebody who leads with, grace and softness, which I think is something that in 2026 and beyond, we're maybe trying to find our balance back to, but it's so hard for, you know, so many women, I think, to find the strength in the soft. Can you speak to that a little bit? Like, was that a conscious decision of yours, or is that just how you float? Like, how does that, like,
Yeah, I think it's
talk to me
a
about
mix
that?
of both. I think it's a mix of both because by nature I'm pretty calm and I like to infuse joy in my everyday life. And then there are moments where I'm just not okay and I don't exude that joy because inside I don't feel good. And for example, with the having Crohn's disease and gastroparesis, when you're not able to hold food in your body, you don't have the nutrition it takes to support your own thoughts. So you can't
Mm,
possibly get to that next level of joy. So I've kind of taught myself and consciously said, well, then if I can't find it within me right now, what else is there? And I just literally scan the room first. Or sometimes I'll go and to my kitchen, find snacks that I love, because really I do love food a lot. And I'll create something that brings me joy,
preach.
especially Vietnamese snacks, anything I get my hold on, my hands on. Or I'll go back to my Instagram page and I'll play like a video from my vacation, and I'm like, it always gets better. Like this recent vacation I just went on to Playa del Carmen, I could not have been treated better. The ocean was just so beautiful and calming in
Mm,
front of me. So sometimes the scrolling does help me because I can get back to a place of myself. So it's a mix of who I am, because you can't put that out into the world and not actually be that way, because then people can tell you're actually not that way. But then when I can't find it within myself, I look outside of what's going on at the moment, and I try to reclaim that joy that I've already felt, or
mm.
find things around the house that bring me joy to get me where I am, to float.
I love that.
Thank you. And as you can kind of see behind me,
Yeah.
for example, shoes. Shoes bring
Yes.
me joy. I have a lot of them. And believe it or not, not as nearly as a lot as, of some of the friends that I have. They have this like a collection, but these are all things that I wear, and it brings me joy to present myself in a certain way. Maybe people don't think I might be a stylish person or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because when I put on different things that make me feel pretty, I feel like I can walk into the room and float with
Mm.
pride. So
Yeah.
these things also help.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, when I hear you speak in that way, it feels very much that you have gratitude for what you have and for where you've been and the journey, that you've been through. Um, a lot of that present moment experience helps us understand that whatever hardship we might be in, there's impermanence that's there, right? It's always changing.
Mhm.
Um, and so my curiosity is like, what was happening in your own life? I mean, I know you touched upon the illnesses, but as you were going through that, was the concept for Espressofied, like, how did that come alive for you, like, during this time?
It did. I think when I started taking more trips to Europe and seeing the culture there of grabbing a coffee again for 2 seconds, just enjoy it yourself, 2 minutes sitting with a friend saying, hey, let's hurry up and have this, but how are you doing? You're doing well, and catching up, or sitting out there for 2 hours by the water, catching up.
Yeah.
That made me feel like those are the times that we're really grateful for, seeing one another, enjoying something delicious again, because I love food.
Mhm.
And the cafes are really really beautiful wherever I've been in Europe, all over the place. They
Yeah.
look very different, but they bring me joy to see. And I always love getting a cup of something and something to nosh on. And if somebody's with me, it's elevated that much higher. So Espressofied was supposed to be somewhat of a concept that was collective. I was supposed to have other people come and write back in the day when blogging was the the most that you would do with a page, and just kind of share Instagram bits and pieces of what you have on your blog. So people go back to your blog, but it's no longer like that. And for people who said they wanted to write, they ended up not doing it for whatever reason. There's a lot of different reasons. And when I started showing my face more and giving more of my story, that's when I saw people resonating. So it just
Mm.
really evolved over time, but it came alive when I was just standing outside of different cafes in Europe thinking like, yeah, I want to do more of this. I wish it was more of a cultural thing here in the States to do, but I can bring it to life on social media. And that's what I definitely try to do.
I want to like, okay, so you said a couple of things that sparked something in me, because obviously you're American, but you also got Vietnamese roots, and you love the mindsets of different cultures, specifically European, which obviously reminds me of the different mindsets that I was raised with, being a multicultural person and having, grown up between New Zealand and Fiji, and now living in America, which does have a very hustle, grind kind of mindset. With the work you're doing, I feel like you are not so subtly kind of giving the middle finger to that hustle, grind culture in the most loving way and graceful way possible. That's Emma speak for, but, which I love, because I think, as we evolve as a species, as a community, as a culture, as a country, we hope to evolve, right? It's almost like we need to see this shift in how we're approaching our lives, our day to day, our friendship circles, our gratitude, our just the way in which we are showing up for ourselves and for each other. Do you have any kind of, like, obviously you lead by example, but do you have any tips that you think people would be able to maybe implement for their own lives to help them hold on to that joy? Because so many people are hurting at the moment, and I wish we could find some kind of semblance of hope again, but so many people again are just stuck in this is my to-do list, this is how I have to survive, when we don't have to necessarily live that way.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say that the hustle, grind part in me did exist at one point, and I think I made
That's true.
myself sicker. I think I made myself a lot sicker by sticking with that, because I used to go, I loved salsa dancing in my last life. And I used to do that constantly, all the time, every single day, every single night, and take a bunch of classes and go out dancing. And it was wonderful. But I belonged to a group that I would go host multiple events in one night, or, and do that multiple nights a week. And I was just exhausted, but I was happy exhausted. But the body starts shutting down parts of your train of thought or function when you're pushing too hard, when you're not resting, you're not refilling, you're not sleeping, which is the very basic of everything. And going out, and I wasn't ever somebody who would drink so heavily, but drinking, and you're not drinking water at the bar when you're about to go dance salsa. And if you are, good for you, but it's not supporting the bar. So then the establishment gets upset. You're not supporting the bar, and then that closes. It's a whole thing. But I used to be a part of that hustle, grind. And now I can't be. I don't have that energy anymore, nor do I want to be like that, because I don't want to have not only a checklist of things that I need to get done. I mean, there is going to be some form of checklist, but I don't want it to be really, really long. I don't want people to feel that way to me. So I don't want to
Right.
go, I have this 15-minute conversation with Emma, check. Let me just text Nancy and see how she's doing at work. Check. Let's see how Kathleen's doing. Check. I don't want it to be a check. I want to check in, but I also want to be there for them, and vice versa, or just talk about whatever it is and feel like we have the time to. And that fills my cup versus feeling like I have to get so much done. I have to keep moving. I kept, for me, personal contact brings me a lot of joy.
Preach.
And a lot of people think, people suck. I don't love people like that. It's probably because they haven't found the right people to share their time with. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It could just be one or two, or maybe a pet or whatever it is. But that human connection with somebody who really has that heart space that you do, or the same values and morals that you do, it can help so much. So for me personally, I try to really hold on to the relationships that bring me joy, where we can have real conversations, real talk, and, say whatever it is that's on our mind, and then go back to, enjoying our time together. That means a
Yeah.
lot for me. It can't be just about doing things and filling it with things, because you're really just filling a void. It's still going to be a void no matter what you do, but people fill me up. So I would tell people, really try to take the time and say, okay, what's important to me? Who are the people in my life who share these same morals and values and things that I like? And let me spend time with them and see how that goes and make it work, instead of just leaving it to the universe. Really try to get it onto your calendar. That
Yeah.
matters. I lead a whole 3.5 to 4 hour workshop on plugging it in, but it's as simple as saying, I want to get these things done, but I also want to hang out with these people, and let's actually put it on our calendars to make sure it happens
Yeah.
and move forward with that. Or otherwise, you're just going to be saying, let's do this soon, and sure, and then it never happens. So plugging it in matters just as much as connecting with others does.
110%. Yeah.
Yeah, the human connection is so important. I feel like there's an energy behind it, right? Yeah. Just on the other side, though, you have such a presence on social media. And how do you like make these meaningful connections in today's digital, space?
It can be tricky online, because I really try to, if people are following me, I try to go to their pages as often as I can to show love. But a lot of people's pages are private, and I can't do that. There's no way of commenting or liking on their things and being reciprocal on that, or trying to see what they're about. And there are a lot of people. So when people comment on my posts, for example, I try to respond and reply. Especially if they have any questions. I get a ton of DMs. I think people feel safer sending private messages than they do with posting a question on a comment, and I'll try to connect with them there. The only hard part about that is it stays there, and you don't really get to ever meet in person, and you don't really know what that person's about. So you may be connecting on a level, but you're not sure what they're really like in person, and how long you want to stay connected, or if you're just it's going to be touch and go or not. So it can be a little tricky. But with the community that I've built, I really try to stay active with them. I try to respond to comments and show love as much as I can, as much as technology will allow me, as much as their profiles will allow me.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah. I'm also really curious about, oh, I'm sorry, Emma.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I'm also really curious about the coaching part of what you do. Like, can you talk to
Sure.
that a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah, so I started coaching in 2011, and I think I got really busy in 2013. And I was just doing life coaching. So a lot of career, some relationship coaching, but more lifestyle coaching, because people come to me with different topics that they want to work on, like their careers or their relationships. And it ended up being a me thing at the end, where they have things that are bothering them inside that they want to work through, outside of therapy. Again, because I'm not a therapist, a lot of people tend to confuse coach with therapist, and that's not at all who I
Right.
am. I hold people accountable to the things they want to do to bring them joy, or to maybe get the things done in their life that they think are really important. And I started that because when I was on the operating table, before they put me out on under anesthesia to get my new kidney and pancreas transplant, I thought, I can't go yet. This isn't my time to go. I have a kid to raise, number one, above all, and no one's going to raise this kid like I'm going to raise them. And number two, that I can help so many get through their things too. I don't know how it's going to work, but I want to do it. And so I decided to go deeper in 2013, right after surgery, and learn more about how to coach people in an effective, balanced way. And I started with Danielle Laporte's sort of train of thought. She's an author, but I love the way she goes through her like white hot truths and designing your desires, desire mapping, fire starter sessions, things like that that I loved. I tried to help become licensed in so I could also then teach it to other people so they could find their own path, their own joy in their own way. My goal in coaching was to keep people for as long as they needed me and then let them do their thing. It was never meant to keep them on. And I still have some clients left. I won so many awards for resume writing, career coaching, and things, but I noticed it brought me less and less joy over time because a lot of people really needed therapy. And I recognized that when they would talk to me, and I would have to tell them, this is the part where we find somebody maybe who can um, work with you as a therapist. And then you could do coaching on top of that if you want. And it was like client after client that I would see that in. And so then I slowly started taking myself out, thinking instead of helping people in this way, I think I'm just going to lead by example and show people how I find my joy and run with that in that direction because I was running out of energy to do all of it too. I really needed to focus on one thing or another. And I didn't want to just sit behind a laptop all day, even if, I wasn't feeling well and couldn't leave the house. I didn't want to just confine myself there. And thankfully on social media, I'm able to go out and do different things when I'm well, meet people there in these different places, and then bring it to life and share it online. And so I realized that I really wanted to continue with that and leading by example.
Yeah.
That's my type of coaching.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting that you bring that up because I see all the time with my work that fine line between therapy and coaching is like it's very much there, but there's so much confusion and misunderstanding around what coaching is compared to therapeutic practice, which can be really, really disheartening, I think, for a lot of clients as well as people who work in the respective fields. I love that you are somebody who then like made the active decision to then put yourself like create the life around you as opposed to make things work for you, because I think a lot of people that what's that saying, like life happens to us. No, you can happen to life. Like that's a decision that we can make, right? Was there anything that you found, I guess, what were the most difficult things in place when you were trying to do that? Or was it quite straightforward for you? And I ask this only because, like, I'm somebody who's very much, I was literally just having a conversation about this with one of my other musician friends who runs a recording studio here in DC.
Mhm.
I don't believe in forcing. I believe in going with, going downstream and, going with the flow and moving like water, helping yourself kind of just go in the flow. But so many people, I think, have this, again, grit or no grit. You either have to hustle or fail type mindset. Was there anything was it like that for you, or how did that happen?
I think I'm very much like you. I'm a fire sign, but I act very much like water. I am somebody who doesn't have the energy to force. I don't want to force. Forcing doesn't feel right to me either. And if that square peg isn't going into the round hole, I'm not going to try either. I see it that doesn't do it. My hustle isn't about making things fit in that way. So I kind of go with the flow, but then if I can and I need to switch direction and try to go down the other part of the stream, I'm going to try that as well and see if it works. And if it does, great. For example, social media industry, it's difficult now to grow. It's really difficult to grow for a lot of people just because there's so many content creators and so many professionals who are using social media now to bring their business, their craft to life on social to reach people. Whereas when I started, there were a lot fewer people doing that. So it was easier for me to grow back then. It was easier for me to build community around that and for them to see the type of person that I am. So I felt like it was really effortless, even though I was learning in the process too, because let me tell you, when I look back at my content, I'm like, oh, that's so cringe. But
Yeah.
we, we had to start somewhere, and it
Yeah.
was authentically me, but I still look like, ew. And I thought that was I thought that was good. But also back then technology was limited. What we had to create with this more limited, and now we have a little bit more that we can work with. But I'm also not about forcing. And if I'll be completely honest with you, sometimes the hustle for me is just getting out of bed. Do I have enough energy to stand up and not feel like I'm going to pass out? And if so, what do I need in the moment to just be well and then get my day started? And I do have a routine with social media and timing and everything and reaching out to people that I love. But first, I have to start with let's see how my health is this day and see how I can balance that. There's a lot of fire, add some water. If there's water, no fire, what can I do now to get my energy up? That kind of thing.
Mm.
So that's my hustle is getting to a point that I feel well enough to do the things that I do. And then the rest feels more effortless because it's my own. I'm not working for someone. I'm not working as a group. So what I say goes on my page and for my coaching. Getting clients is a little bit easier because my name is all over the place and I'm full for now, even though I have fewer clients and I've closed my books off a lot. So that feels a lot easier, but it's also harder this day and age because there's so much, not competition, but there's so much supply, I want to say, out there.
Mm.
I don't compete. That's another thing. If you
Mhm.
are truly yourself, there's no reason. There's no reason to think that you need to compete with anyone else.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I try. That's what I think it is.
I
I
just,
don't.
yeah.
I'm not competitive. Sometimes I wish I was a little bit more competitive. I would say like I'm other people's cheerleader for sure. I cheer people on left and right. And sometimes I'm like, why wasn't I cheering myself on
Mm.
this hard? But at the same
Yeah.
time, I think sometimes I just do instead of thinking like I can do this. I just do it anyway.
It's the best way to do
Yeah.
it. It's the best way to do it. And of course, we have
Yes.
reached our limit for today. Oh
That
my
went
gosh,
fast.
Dinah! Oh my, like this always happens. And yes, Liz,
We have
it did go. It
to
went
have
way
you
too
back.
quickly.
Yeah. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go and have coffee.
Yes, we should be very espressified. And that's another thing. I love to talk. I love to talk. My husband loves to talk even more than I do, if you can believe that.
This is true. This
We're
is true.
talkers. Yes.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for your time, Liz. And yeah, that time went super quick. But I'm sure, like there's a million gems of knowledge that you can drop on all of us.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're not already following Liz, she is Espressofied on all social media. I will put all of her details in the description below this video, and of course on all the streaming platforms. But Liz, thank you. Before we bounce, do you have any sort of last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the people?
Yes, if you're in the DC area, it's cold, wear a jacket. It's freezing. Merry Christmas. If you're in San Francisco, enjoy the weather. That's actually where I met my husband, by the way, in San Francisco. So I do love the Bay Area and have warm memories of that.
Love
But
it.
do whatever you can to bring in your joy
Yeah.
daily because we have so much going on as a
Yes.
country and beyond. The world does feel like it's on fire, but your world doesn't have to feel like that at the same time, even though that's what's happening. Any little thing from the snacks to booking the trip to reaching out to a friend and saying like, hey, I haven't talked to you for a while. Let's have a conversation, to getting the pair of sunglasses that you want to wear, or taking the bag that you've been saving to wear to a nice event. Just wear it anyway. Go to the 7-Eleven with it. Who cares? Just enjoy it. Enjoy your life as much as you can, because there's no putting off of your joy if you want to feel like everything's more balanced.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much
Yes.
for your time,
Thank
Liz.
you.
And
you.
thank you to everybody who is listening today. Of course, we have another wonderful conversation next week coming up, but make sure you reach out to Liz to help yourself reignite the joy in your life. Until next week, friends, be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion, and find your joy.
Yes.
Hey.
Cause I am searching, don't need to look outside myself to know that I am whole. And I've been learning, made it through the darkest storms, and I'm coming to my own. And I am worthy of love. myself just because.